We start with 1 hour chart. Just I want to give a quick update. First of all, if we refer to our analysis in my last video when the price was within this move, we mentioned about different possibility. Whether this was the only flat and the price can retest the previous low, or we can get one move up and then this one turn to a bigger flat, or we look at this one. Okay, now that's why I mentioned if we get any reversal, any trade setup for buy, we can take the trade, and with the breakout of this stop, we have to start to manage it. And exactly this is what we get. And even if the price break the previous stop, and if we put our fib here, we put our fib here, right? No, we are not considering about this. 27%, 184, the price almost tag. And whoever get the trade within this, if they wants to keep the trade, at least they start to manage, either move their stop loss to break even or book some profit. And if there is a continuation, the next target we will looking for is 192. But we need to know if we put this stop in relative to the previous one, we have a divergence here, and MACD doesn't show us a divergence. No, what's the next? Whether this is a start of the up move, or we can put either this one as a flat in relative to this for one more drop, or this is a bigger correction. Okay, that's mean no, what's the question is whether this is the start of the up move, or we can expect the price to retest the previous low. Okay, as you can see, we have a divergence, and mostly technically we can expect to get one more drop, but right now we cannot confirm. That's why whoever get the trade, they should start to manage it. And if we want to look for the next trade, we need to get the correction flag for trade setup here. If we get, we can look for the next trade with the breakout of the previous stop, we should start to manage. Even we mentioned the 192 is the second target, okay? But any trade from now, we're looking for the continuation as a short move. But we need to know this flat, whether we have this flat or this is the first wave with the divergence and the correction. Both of them can tell us that may the price retest the previous low, but mostly we can look for this one as the first one since we have a divergence, and this one as an internal flat. We need to be quite careful about this if we want to look for buy and look for continuation. Even if we get a trade setup, we can look for continuation, but we should have the proper management. If the price continues a corrective move, then we should know we are this one can tend to have internal correction. Okay, since MACD doesn't give us a divergence, we cannot conform with that. And besides that, most of the charts, they have a similar movement. That's why it's quite hard to predict. And if we move to daily chart, we want to see what's the next. The only thing is we want to see whether this one can tend to a bigger correction or not. That means still we can look for continuation with the breakout of the top. But as we discussed, based on 1 hour chart, how we can look for next trade. Anyway, even if we move to 4 hour chart, the best things is, even we mentioned last analysis, the best thing is if this one give us one more drop, because we can see the divergence based on forward chart, then any reversal can give us a confirmation for the price to break the previous stop. Because if we mentioned, I mean, in my last analysis, I mentioned if the price reverse from here without breaking the low, makes a short-term trade. That's why whoever get the trade, they should start to manage. And still we can go with this possibility. We need to be aware. It doesn't mean I'm telling the price is going to drop. I want to say that if we want to look for trade from now, we need to be aware of this. If we get any trade set up for buy, we need to see the continuation, confirmation for continuation as a sharp move. But if the price start to correct, we take out the trade or we start to manage it. Then any sell from there, we can look for, because in terms of the risk and reward can give us good trade setup. But right now, we need to wait and see what we get here. Whether the corrective move or trade setup, correction of flag for buy, or the reversal. Okay, the only option is, the only update is in this analysis. Whoever get the trade within this, depends on the strategy they use, at least move their stop loss to break even. Okay, now we just follow the chart and we mentioned what's the target. The first target 27% is tag already, and we want to see the breakout of the previous stop because the second target is above the previous stop. In this case, we just follow the chart. If I see any update or trade setup, I will share